What's good, you guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you boys and girls are doing great. This is Rekordbox made easy. This video will help the DJs who have never used the software and who are willing to learn, and DJs who are already using the software but maybe they are using a little bit more complicated way of importing, preparing and exporting. What is Rekordbox? Rekordbox is a free music management software developed by Pioneer. If you often use Pioneer equipment to perform and DJ, using this software to export your music will elevate your performance instantly. There are a lot of videos on YouTube already which aim to give you a full tutorial on how to use Rekordbox. And in this process, they get into each and every feature and element of this software and end up making the learning very complicated. So what I've done for you guys in this video is I've cut short the process and I'm only going to talk about the most important things and the things that really matter. My aim with this video is that you can literally start using Rekordbox by the end of this video. So here I'm going to show you the full process from importing your music, creating your playlist and then exporting the music into your pen drives or thumb drives and getting ready to perform. Downloading the software is fairly simple and straightforward. Just go to the website www.rekordbox.com or search for Rekordbox in Google and click on the first link. Go into the website, click on download and install the software. Once downloaded, follow the install instructions that will be displayed on the screen and you should be good to go. Now when you open Rekordbox, this is the screen that you will see. This layout is a bit all over the place, so it's important to do some initial settings and to get rid of the things that you will not need. To do that, click on the preferences option, go to the view and increase the font size and adjust your line spacing to your liking. Next, under the layout section, we will remove a few things from the tree view. Uncheck related tracks and iTunes. You may never use these options. Make sure Explorer is checked because that you will use, and Playlist Palette should also be checked, and ignore the rest. Now change the color to RGB and full preview waveform to full waveform, and that's it. You can leave the rest as it is. Now you can see only the things that matter, and this is the layout that will be presented to you. On the top left corner, you will see that we are using the Rekordbox software in export mode. There are two other options, but in this video we will concentrate on Rekordbox export mode. Make sure you select one player under the players tab and also turn off the quantize option, which may be on by default. Alright, it's time to explain the layout. This is how Rekordbox looks. To explain the layout, let's consider this as a three-part section. The whole thing over here on the top, consider the whole thing as your player. This left thing is your navigator or your tree view where you will navigate your music from. This is your contents view or the collection view. The music which you have, all of the music that you will have is displayed over here. Alright. Now, I'm going to show you how to create folders and playlists. I showed you guys in my previous video how to make folders for Rekordbox. I'm going to show you my folder structure first. This is my folder structure. I have my music in this master folder. Within my master folder, I have Rekordbox playlists. Within Rekordbox playlists, I have my music sorted and ready to be imported into Rekordbox. Alright, so if you can see, all my music is over here. Perfect. Now we will go to Rekordbox. This is how you create folders. When you click on playlists, right now we don't have any playlists, so nothing will be visible. To create a folder within playlists, you'll have to click the plus icon where you say create new playlist, right? What this does is creates a playlist and it automatically names it untitled playlist, but that's not what we need. What we need is a folder. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to right click on the playlists and click on create new folder. Alright, if you can see now, this becomes a folder, untitled folder, and we're going to name it your DJ name folder. So let's just say DB Deep Bhamra master folder, master music folder. Alright, now that is your master folder. Within that you can create multiple folders. So what we're going to do is very simple. We're going to replicate whatever we see here. This is what we created, DB master folder, Rekordbox playlists, right? In this we are going to create all of this, just replicate this over here. Let's go ahead and make the first folder, which over here is Bollywood plus Punjabi. Right click, as I said, right click or double click or double tap if you're using a Mac. Click on new folder, create new folder. We're going to call this Bollywood plus Punjabi. Alright, the next folder is commercial plus hip hop plus top 40. So we're going to do that. Again, click over here, right click, create new folder, commercial plus hip hop plus top 40. Alright, next folder, call it house music. Alright, next folder, mixtapes. Next folder, rock, retro, funk, disco. Samples. Create new folder, call it samples. Next, scratch routines. Right click, create new folder, scratch routines, and there you go. All your folders are now placed here. Now to bring them back in the same order, click on the last playlist and drag it to the top. Keep dragging them up and bring them to its location. As simple as that. Now if you can see, this replicates this. Next, Bollywood and Punjabi. Open this folder. Now we're going to create these 4 folders within Bollywood plus Punjabi. One important thing that you need to know is this is a folder because we cannot create a playlist here. Alright, so these 4 folders which you see, we will not create folders. Instead we will create playlists. So if you double tap, we have the option of create new playlist, or we can simply click on the plus icon and a playlist will be created. This is where you create your first playlist. Let's call it all Bollywood music. Alright, then you can click over here and create your next playlist. Let's call it Punjabi, then Dandiya, then retro originals. Okay, you can place them the way you like. As you can see, this becomes your folder and these are your playlists within this folder. So if you close this arrow is your drop down menu. Once you click on that, you can drop it down, and if you can see, once you click on Bollywood plus Punjabi, these are the 4 playlists within the folder. Over here it's the same thing. You can click Bollywood and Punjabi and you can see these 4 folders which will be considered as playlists because this is where all your music is. Okay, next, commercial plus hip hop plus top 40. Alright, so we're gonna click plus and create a playlist. Commercial music plus top 40 is your first playlist. Then your next playlist will be hip hop, and your last playlist would be R&B or whatever is the genre that you have. I think you get the idea. The master folder, and within the master folder are your playlists. Similarly, this is your folder and these are your playlists. Alright, we will do the same for the rest. House music, click on the plus, create new playlist, call it deep house. Next, electro house. Alright, that's how easy it is. So the first thing that you're going to do is create a folder replicating your genre music folders, and then within that you will create playlist folders, and that's how you make your folders and playlists. Now let's talk about importing the music. There are many ways to import your music into your playlists. Alright, as you can see, we have no tracks right now, but there are many ways to go ahead and do this. Let me show you the first way. You can simply open your folder, go to the folder that you want to import. We have selected all Bollywood music, so we're going to open that folder. We're going to choose all the tracks. We're going to drag, select and drop them within all Bollywood music. And that's how importing begins. That is one way of doing it. Okay. Upon doing this, this is the first thing that you will see. Your BPM and grid information, the range in which you want your analysis settings to be. This is analysis settings. Okay. Usually most of the Bollywood music, most of the house music or electronically produced music is within 70 and 180. Alright. So we're going to choose the range as 70 to 180. There are many other ranges, but you're going to stick with 70 to 180. Then the next thing that you want the analysis to happen is key analysis. Key analysis helps you in mixing using keys. Next thing is phrase. This is something which will be coming to the newer players in the next set of the CDJs. And what phrase does is it creates phrases and it tells you how many phrases are remaining in that particular track. So we're going to click and check this as well. Okay, and we're going to click on OK. Now the analysis process will begin. See, it says now analyzing. While this is analyzing, I'm going to show you another way of importing the music. Okay, let's go to Punjabi and we are going to import this folder. Okay, but what we're going to do is we are going to use the Explorer over here. In the tree section there is something called as Explorer. Go to your music folder, go to your master folder, go to your Rekordbox playlists, click on the folder of the genre, click on the folder which you want to import, one tap and you can see all your music over here. Alright, so what you can do is simply selecting all and dragging and dropping them into Punjabi. So we select them all, drag them, and as you can see I have put the cursor on top of the playlist. I'm going to put it on that and just release the cursor and that imports. Analysis settings will remain the same, so we are going to click do not ask me again because this is what we're going to do throughout in our process. Also, you can change the setting in preferences later, but I'm pretty sure you will no longer have to do this. Click on OK and you're good to go. These are the next tracks that are going to analyze. Alright, now if you saw that using Explorer is quite easy and one of the best ways to import music. Alright, but what is funny is that you will have to browse through this every time you want to import. So what we're going to do is we're going to create shortcuts. If you can see this arrow over here is open and close shortcuts. Okay, one important thing about Rekordbox is wherever you place your cursor within the Rekordbox software, it gives you a small preview of what it is. For example, if you see this A written over here, this is set hotkey A. It gives you instructions. So wherever you put your cursor, there are instructions seen directly on top of your screen. This is a play pause button. You can play pause the track over here. If you just place the cursor on the arrow, you can clearly see it says open close shortcuts. So we're going to tap on that, and if you just drag this out, you can see what all are your shortcuts. You can remove shortcuts, you can add shortcuts. Let's just say delete shortcuts. I don't need an iTunes shortcut, so I'm going to remove it. I don't need my collection shortcut here, but maybe I do, so I'm going to bring this to the top. This is basically all your collection in one place. Devices, you will really not need this. I'm going to delete the shortcut. So the next shortcut that I'm going to create is the music that I will be importing most often. This folder here, commercial music plus top 40, is the folder which I will be importing most often because that's the music that I play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click, drag select and drop it over here. This folder is now in the tree shortcut. The next thing is all Bollywood music. I'm gonna have it here. Alright. What this does is when you want to import a track later, you don't have to go to Explorer, and then you don't have to go to music, and then you don't have to go to Rekordbox playlist, and then you don't have to click on commercial and music and then click over here. All the steps can be reduced to one simple thing, that is clicking on this shortcut button and just simply clicking on the folder, and it will take you to that directly. If you click on this, it will take you to that directly. Did you get it? This is one thing that you should be learning. Alright, so that was the second way of importing, and also a shortcut for importing. I hope you guys understood that. Now I'm going to show you a shortcut that you can use to get to your playlists faster. So now if I want to go to my commercial and house music top 40 playlist, I'll have to click on playlists and then click on the master folder and then go into the commercial and hip hop top 40 folder and then click on the playlist, right? To cut this process short, what you can do is drag and drop it over here where you see this blank list. What this is the palette section. This is where you can have shortcuts of all your playlists. It's called the playlist palette. Okay, so this is the first playlist that I've dragged and dropped here. Second playlist that I'm going to drag and drop here is all Bollywood music. Okay, so now next time when I want to go to a certain playlist, all I can do is simply click on the palette over here and automatically I'm going to be in my playlist. Did you get it? Perfect. So let's import the commercial music into the playlists. As I said earlier, click on the shortcut, go to your commercial music, select all, drag it and drop it into the playlist, and if you can see, all of the tracks are now analyzing. The analysis process, we have already selected the way we want to do it. We're going to leave it that way, and all the tracks are now getting analyzed. It's time to show you how we can organize this particular section, which is your content section. All your music is over here. You can see there is a lot of information that you have over here. This first one, the second one, the third one. What this is it shows whether your music is phrase analyzed or not. The second section is the number of your track, the track number. This is a preview of the waveform and how it will look once you load the track over here. Then you have your artwork, your title track, all of this, all the information that you will need about the track is over here. But a lot of the things over here, things like rating or genre or maybe date added, some things which are over here may not be required. So what we're going to do is add or remove the things that we want to see. How I do it is I right click on any of the section over here, track title, artist, preview, anywhere, wherever you right click or double tap on the cursor, you will see that whatever is checked is whatever is visible. So what we're going to do is uncheck certain things that we don't need and check in the things that we will need. What I really like to see is DJ play count. I want to see how many times I have played a certain track. That is one thing that I need. The next thing that I really need is BPM, right? So BPM is already checked in, we're going to leave it. What I will not need is ratings. I'm going to remove that. Then honestly, I really don't need to see the preview, so I'm going to remove the preview. Then I do not need to see the name of the artist over here, so I'm going to remove that. I'm going to remove genre because I do not want to see the genre that Rekordbox is showing me. I do not want to see the album name. Next, rating, we don't need DJ play count, we need preview, we don't need artist genre, we don't need track title. We are going to need that. The next thing that you need is the location. You need to know where your track is located. and then you will need date added. I think that's about it. I think these are the only things that you will really need. Okay, now you can have the numbers here. Then what you need is your track title. That's the first thing that you will need. All your songs, the names of your songs are going to be over here. Next, you need BPM. Okay, so we're going to have BPM and we're going to resize it the way we like. Then we have artwork. Artwork is something which may or may not be important, so you can place them in a location where you like. Time, we do not need time, we can remove time. Next, key. So BPM, key, resize it so all your information is in one page. DJ play count, you can have it over here. Date added, I want it before that so that I know which track was older and which track is newer. Then comes your location. Location is showing where a certain track is located within your laptop. Alright, so we're gonna have them in the last. These are the only things that you will need. I'm pretty sure these are the only things that you will need. Okay. Similarly, when you go to all Bollywood music, all your information is now clearly visible on the main screen. Alright, your track number, your track name, the BPM, the key of the track, the artwork, the DJ play count, the date added, and location. Alright, this is the layout that you need to do first. Okay, now let's talk about preparing the track. So preparing the track is a process which most DJs skip because it's not very important. But what I believe is preparing a track and setting up cue points and correcting beat grids will help you in the long run. It also helps in getting into more creative style of mixing. Let's talk about how to prepare a track. For example, I'm choosing this particular remix of the track Side by Side, which is a mashup that I created a while ago. If you notice that the first bar is not on the cue point and the first waveform, the beginning of the track, is actually over here, and Rekordbox for some reason has taken this point, which is a red cue point, as the first bar in the track. What you need to do is to set a cue point and you need to change the beat grid. This is the beat grid. The bars over here is the beat grid. How do you do that? The first thing that you need to do is move the track to the beginning of the track. You can just use the mouse to do that or your trackpad, and then hit Q. Okay, if you notice, the yellow arrow which was over here is now moved here. The next thing that you need to do is go to grid. If you see Q and loop is over here, this is the player section, guys. The second option is adjust BPM and beat grid. So if you click on the grid, you will see this first option which is called the set the first beat of bar to the current position. This is the thing that you need to do so that the first beat, which is this one, becomes the first bar as well. Alright, so now it is 1.1. This becomes your first beat, and now this particular track is in grid. Perfect. So that is the first thing that you can do. If the beat grids are perfect, then the second thing that you can do is add cue points. Now cue points is very helpful because there are 4 cue buttons and 2 banks in your Nexus players and 3 cue buttons on your Nexus older generation. I really strongly believe that you must use these. So let's just say that the first beat of the track, which is over here, is the first cue point that I want. I'm going to set hot cue A as the first cue point. Now every time I tap here, the track will play from there. This becomes your cue point. Alright, this is how you do it. Now also you may want to move to the 30-second beat, which is the second phrase. So let's just start with the first beat and then move 16 beats, 1, 2, twice. This is the beginning of the second phrase, and I want my second cue point here because at certain times I would want to start my mixing from the second phrase because you're in a situation where the mixing has to be a little faster. I would rather choose to mix from the second phrase of the track and not from the beginning to keep the energy up there. So when I click here, the track starts from that particular point, and that's why I like to use my cue points. And instead of going all the way to that track and then hitting Q, I would just simply click on B and then my cue point is ready. So that is the advantage of using hot cues. Another great advantage is you can also set loops. For example, I want a 8-bar loop. Okay, this is the looping section. Okay, you can select the length of the loop, 2 beats, 4 beats, 8 beats. Let's just say I want a 8-beat loop. So if I click on this, 8 beats will be selected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then it goes back to the first beat. Now since this is selected, I can have an option where I can choose this loop to be in the hot cue. If you see what happened here, A is in green, B is in green, C is now with this loop icon next to the C, which is now your loop, a hot loop. Exactly, it goes back to the beginning. And when you click A, it'll go to the beginning. If you click B, it'll go to that particular position. But if you want a loop, you can do this. You don't have to do it on the fly and on the go. You can have them set at home and then prepare the track so that if you mix this track quite often in your set, you can have it mixed with a loop if you want to. That's just an example. You can set the cue points anywhere in the track, anywhere you want it. That is called preparing the track. So preparing the track also means that you can rename this particular track the way you would like to remember it. For example, some like to see the BPM. The BPM is over here anyways, but if they want to see the BPM on the track title, you can add that. Or you can add things like, this is a DB mashup. So if you see DB mashup is a good one, so you can just write killer. If you have, for example, 5 different remixes of Side to Side by Ariana Grande, and if you like this particular mashup the most, you can tag that as killer, so that you know that when you select this track, it is a part of the killer set that you have. That is also a part of preparing your track, is that you can rename it the way you like. What you can also do is you can set memory points. If you want C to be your memory point or B to be your memory point, you can go to that particular point in track, which is 9.1. You can hit the memory button here, and immediately this becomes a call memory point. You can access this on the player by hitting on the call button, which is on the player. This also is a great option. So for example, if you choose this track now, if you click here, it immediately goes to that particular point in track. Now that is the difference between a hot cue and a memory cue. When you hit on the memory cue, the track starts playing, right? You may not want that to happen, and instead if you hit on the memory cue, it goes to that particular place and waits for your command to hit play, and then it starts playing. A cue point, if you hit it, it starts playing from that section. It just goes on. But if you click on the memory cue, it pauses, it stops where it is, it takes you to that particular point and waits for your command to hit play, and then it plays at the time that you want it to play. So that's another thing that is a part of preparing the track. That's also a tip. It's a great tip. You must use memory cue points as well, and you have several of them. Hot cues, yes, you have 8 of them. You can also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, close to 10 memory points along with 8 hot cue points, and all of this combined can be a great thing. If you have a certain kind of a vocal mix, you can make mashups live. I'll show you how to do that in one of my future videos. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button, guys, if you want to know a lot more about DJing. And that's it. I think that pretty much explains what all you can do with, preparing your track. You can also click on the I button here, change the artwork. You can rename everything which is over here. You can add the track title. You can add the artist name. You can add the remixer. You can add which genre. You can add genre, the kind of genre it is. You can add your own as well, which you can write and add anything, a lot of things. So all of this also is a part of preparing the track. If you like to have your library quite clean and doesn't look all over the place, because you guys try to get the music from different sources and it usually have their timestamps and stamps in general. So this is another thing that you must do. You can also, as I said, replace or remove the artwork. All this is a part of preparing the track. Okay, now it's time to talk about exporting. Exporting is the last and the final process that you will do, but it is extremely important that this is done correctly. Let me show you how to do that. Connect your pen drive to the computer while Rekordbox is running. This is the drive that I just connected, and it will automatically show up under your devices section. Alright, now if you notice this button here, this is called Sync Manager. If you hit on that, it'll launch the Sync Manager. Now when you launch the Sync Manager, on the top right corner where you see device, you will have to select your device. In my case, it's selected automatically, but there might be a situation where it will not be selected, so you will have to go to the drop down menu and choose the particular drive. After that, you will have to choose the playlists that you want to synchronize with your pen drive. I'm using the word synchronize is because this pen drive acts as an image to your Rekordbox library, and it creates playlists the way they are created in your software. So to do that, you'll have to hit on this option here, which is synchronize playlists with the device. Check on that, and this is now no longer grayed out. If you see, now it's grayed out. If you check on this, now you have the option of choosing what playlists will go into your pen drive. So let's go ahead and choose your master folder, which is this particular one here. Check on that. Automatically everything else within that will get selected. Alright, and then the next step is to hit on the right arrow, which is synchronize playlist you selected to a device. Which device? The device that you selected over here. Once you hit on that, automatically exporting will begin. It is not a direct export. Although your tracks are now analyzed, you will never select and send or copy paste it to your pen drive. It won't work. That's not the right way to do it. In some situations it will, but that is definitely not the right way to do it. The right way to do it is to use the Sync Manager to synchronize your playlists with your drive. And definitely you will not be able to do two instances at the same time. So if you have two pen drives, you'll have to wait for one pen drive to finish and then synchronize the second pen drive once this first one is done. If you can see, it's now 100% and it's done. Now this pen drive will have all your contents. This is all the music albums that you have, and each of this will have that particular track information. Okay, but you will no longer open this contents folder. You want to leave that where it is. You want to leave that in the pen drive. You will go to your Rekordbox or your player. You can go to your devices and click on playlists, and when you click on playlist, you will see your playlists. This is your master folder, then you will see your genre folders, and then you will also see your playlists within the genre folders. And since you already prepared the track, all the information which you previously prepared is now a part of the pen drive. So when you plug in this pen drive onto your player, you will automatically be prompted with the information that this particular pen drive is Rekordbox analyzed. Would you like to use it? And you will just click yes, and that's the way to go. And if you happen to play this track, when you select the track, automatically all your hot cues and cue points and loops and memory cues will be loaded, and your track, which was earlier prepared by you, will be running the way you want it to be. Alright, that is how you prepare your track and then export it. Once that's done, it's very important that you eject this particular pen drive using Rekordbox. You can also do this. You can right click here and click on eject, but it won't work. The disk DB test drive couldn't be ejected because Rekordbox is using it. So please do not eject it from here, and definitely not remove the drive manually. Go to the Rekordbox software, go to your devices and hit on this button here, which is remove USB drive or eject USB drive. Once you do that, it'll take a while and it's safely ejected, and your pen drive is now ready to be plugged in to the players in the club that you're playing. Now let's talk about some of the things that you must know, some of the tips that you really need when you're using Rekordbox. Rekordbox as a software, if you're using for the first time, can be challenging, but quite honestly, it is very easy. And what Rekordbox has done is, wherever you put the mouse cursor, it tells you what that is all about. If you just put your mouse cursor here, it'll tell you what this particular option will do, which in this case, if I put my mouse cursor on grid, it says adjust BPM and beat grid. It basically tells you what it is. it tells you that this particular point, this will basically set a hot queue. If you have any confusion, you can just put your cursor on that particular point and it will tell you what this is all about. See, if you put here, it says that it's an auto beat loop, and if you select, you can double the loop, which is 8. If you click here, it will go to 16. If you click on this, it will automatically loop 16 beats. If you click on this, it will tell you that it will set a memory cue point. That's one of the tips that you will need to understand that wherever you put the mouse cursor, Rekordbox will tell you what that particular option or feature is within Rekordbox. That's the first thing that you need to know. The next thing that you need to know is that when you connect your particular pen drive, which in this case is this one, DB test drive, a lot of the information or the settings can be done beforehand. So if you click on settings, you can go to CDJ and device, go to my settings, and you can select the settings as per your preference. This particular order is my preference. You can go ahead and do it your way, but I like to keep it this way. So this is how I have kept it. Now another thing that you must know is, for example, this particular track, which is in the folder, for some strange reason, this is now moved to some other location and it is deleted from the folder. Let's just say for some reason this has happened. If you click on this selected track, you will see an exclamation mark, and the best thing about Rekordbox, as I said, put the cursor there and it will tell you what it is. File cannot be found at the registered location. Select relocate from the right click menu to register it again. Alright, it is a phase analyzed track and it is no longer there. That's obviously because as you saw, it's not in the location. So what you can do is right click on relocate, and you can go to that particular folder, which is your master folder. You know that it is in Rekordbox, you know that it is in commercial, and you know that it is in commercial music and top 40. It is supposed to be here, but it wasn't here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that particular track, which is in a different location, copy it and paste it over here. So I'm going to show it to you right now. Go to music, go to that particular folder, Rekordbox playlist, commercial music and top 40, copy and paste. Added. Now when you click here again, you will see the track here. Once you click open, the file is already in the collection. Missing file manager says that. When you click here, it will immediately load the track. Alright, and that's how you relocate a track if you lose it. The next thing that you need to learn is just say that this track wasn't here and this track wasn't here. This is a situation where you have just downloaded a track from, say, from a different website. It's now downloaded and now it is in your downloads menu. What you will do is copy this track. You will go to the folder in which you want to place it, which I said is commercial music and top 40, because this is commercial music. You're going to paste it here. Okay. Now, how does Rekordbox know this? So what we did earlier is when we clicked on that particular folder here, we just selected all and we transferred it to the playlist. But in this case, when you click on commercial, you can see that this particular track, which is on the top, doesn't have this logo. This logo means that the track is imported to the collection, but there is no information here. This definitely means that this track is not yet a part of your collection. So what you will do is you will just select that particular track and then drop it into the playlist. That will import the track, and that track is analyzing right now. If you can see 96%, 99, 100, and it is now done. That is how you import new music into playlists. Every time you add a particular track here, it will show up over here within this menu on the top without the Rekordbox logo. And you can easily see that whatever is not with the logo is the track that you need to import. You don't have to do all of this together. And if you do this together, for example, I've selected all the tracks which are already in the playlist. If I select all and drag it here, Rekordbox will tell you that there are duplicates being added to the playlist. Would you like to add the duplicates or skip them? You will definitely skip them. You'll no longer want duplicates of the same playlist. That'll create confusion. All you would do is skip, and then Rekordbox will do nothing about it. They'll just leave it the way it is. That's another tip for you guys. And there we go. That was how easy it is. It's very simple. The Rekordbox software is one of the best softwares that you can use to export your music and to elevate your DJing performance. I hope you guys learned a thing or two, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified every time I upload a new video. If you guys like what I'm doing, please hit that like button and also comment in the comment section below to let me know. You can also ask me your doubts in Instagram. You can follow me on DJ Deep Bhamra. I'll be able to answer all your doubts there. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.